Welcome friends to my review of this 30-watt folding solar panel that you could just throw in your backpack. The reason why I want to make the review is this might be a smart idea for power outage situations. Why do I say this? Well, this solar panel in entire size is about 29 or 30 inches. It actually says right here on the thing. So unfolded size is 29 by about 10. And folded size is 9.8 by 9.8. So very, very small. So it just folds like this, like a binder. Probably a little bit bigger than the size of the iPad. And it has 3 ports. A USB-C and a USB-A and a DC port. The DC port apparently outputs 18 volts. We have to check that. So what I'm thinking is this, is that you have a power cord, let's say USB-A power cord connected to your cell phone and a USB-C, either one. So what I'm thinking with this one, what's the use case for this? You could plug in a USB-C power bank, charge up a power bank while charging up your cell phone at the same time, or charge up 2 cell phones using this, or charge up a solar generator, and your cell phone at the same time, possibly. So we have to see if all the ports work together with the thing. Today is an overcast day. So what we're going to actually check today is the performance of it on the worst possible conditions. Like overcast day. Can it give you cell phone power, at least charge up your cell phone so you can make that phone call in an emergency? It comes with this, looks like a 5525 cord. How do you tell is that the inside hole is a little bit bigger than this one. It comes with these adapters. See, this is the 5521. See that hole in the middle is a little bit smaller. And a whole bunch of different. This one I think is made for the Jackeries. So basically you have all these different ways to plug it into your solar generator power station. So it gives you a multitude of different ways of using it. Another use case I see is that, like on your car dash, like in your locked car, you could prop this up with the window facing and charge up a solar bank while you're away from the car for a couple hours. And so this way you could have always a charged up battery bank going away. It comes also with these carabiners. So with this carabiners, it allows you creative ways of hanging it up, let's say from your backpack, or hanging it up through a string or some other thing. So I do like that it does come with that, and it comes with these 4 grommets, how you can use it. And this solar panel is tiny, however powerful enough to charge at least 1 cell phone or 1 battery bank. The ideal one is to charge up those little portable battery banks for cell phones, not necessarily the ones designed for charging up laptops or the things, because the battery bank you could fit in your pocket, and this one you could fit in your backpack, and you could have energy on top of a mountain, off-grid energy, without being too heavy to carry around. This one I think is literally 1.5 pounds. What is the weight? 1.7 pounds. Front view, rear view. Here's all the information. So my question is this. What are we going to test today? We're not going to test the full solar output, because then we would have to wait for 2 days until the sunniest day possible in order to see the total output. I just want to see, can I plug this into my solar generator? I have a 600 watt solar generator, 600 watt bank that has like a 600 watt inverter. Can I get some power out of it? Can I plug this into the solar generator and at the same time plug in a cell phone at the same time to charge? Does that work? I don't know about 2 cell phones. However, that might be also a test. Can we do 2 cell phones and a solar generator? I don't know. It's only 30 watts. So probably you won't be using all 3 at once. My question becomes like this. If I'm using 1 port, does it turn off the other port? Can you still use the other ports with that? So let's quickly take it outside. It might even be raining. Hopefully it's not, so this way I don't get my stuff wet. However, this should be an interesting test. So right now is really overcast conditions. However, we want to have power at all times. So let's see what power it gives us when we just have it like this. Oh, we need to use an adapter. Let's get an adapter out. So I just plugged it in and I'm literally getting 1 watt. So a little bit less than the performance I was hoping for. However, 1 watt is better than 0 watts. Okay. So that's doing it, okay. Now let's see if we could plug in the cell phone and get at least 1 watt. Let's see. I think maybe the sun might not be bright enough, or maybe the voltage open circuit on this panel is not high enough. Perhaps maybe where this video should be continued is when there's actually a lot more sun out, to see what power it could get. So this guy is disconnected. Now let's plug in the cell phone. Maybe it's because these USB ports were connected. Maybe it gives less power to the output of the solar panel. So it looks like it's charging. How fast it's charging, I don't know. Okay, interesting. So boom. Now let's see if we could connect both at the same time. This USB-C charger. Will it charge both? So this guy is still charging and this guy looks like it's not doing anything. It might be one or the other. So now let's disconnect this guy and see if this guy starts charging. Okay. It looks like it's one or the other. So while this guy is charging, let's see, let's plug in the cell phone. Uh-oh. Okay. Disconnect this guy. Okay. So that shows you could actually do one thing at a time only. Let's see if we could do both the cell phone and the battery bank at the same time. So it looks like this guy's still charging and this guy is not getting any input. No, this guy is now not getting input. Nothing is getting. Maybe it's just too overcast right now. Unplug this guy. And now we're getting the charging power. Oh. Maybe it's just not enough power right now. This test, I think, has to be continued in a sunny situation. So, probably best tip I could give is have this battery bank charged up before you need it in an emergency, or let's say in an emergency when it's sunny, that's when you charge it back up. Unplug this guy, replug this guy. Okay. So it is getting some power. How many watts? We just don't know right now. I would have to test it with a USB-C tester. Interesting. Very interesting concept though. 30 watts. Maybe the suggestion would be is to carry around a 100 watt solar panel. That might be better. maybe it's time to test out SIGs in low light conditions. So now we're a few minutes later with my 100-watt SIGs panel. SIGs panel, these apparently are supposed to have the most superior low light performance. However, I guess there's so much low light over here, perhaps we're not getting enough sun. So we're getting 3 watts from this panel. So we're getting the 1 watt really is not a much of a big comparison. That's the situation. Perhaps maybe there's just no direct sun hitting and we need more of an area that would be typically getting sun right now. So let me try that area, and maybe that's why this test in the beginning I had only 1 watt, is just this area doesn't have any direct sun contact anyway. There's no irradiance. So yeah, this is a 3 times bigger solar panel. Now maybe I should test it out in the low light conditions where there actually would be sun. So now the sun is somewhere there behind the clouds. We're getting 12 watts. So this is the worst possible conditions for the sun. And incidentally, this is a good way to see what your solar system would get. So maybe 10%, 12, 11. So this is the best of the worst conditions possible. You just can't get better than the SIGs low light performance, and this is a 3 times bigger area. So what's easier to carry around, this or that? The other thing is this, is that since you're already unrolling a solar panel, why do you really care if you take up half the space or double the space and get more wattage? However, that one has USB-C ports and this one has to have this connection, and you have to have a separate battery bank that would get charged up by it. So that's already designed for a solar generator. That one, the other one is designed for being able to charge with a USB-C. So one of those things is that if it's like this outside, don't expect much generation, but getting any generation really is a big deal. Perhaps maybe I should test the other panel with this overcast thing with the 30 watts and then test it in the sun, because it's not really fair to it. At the same time, I just wanted to see, can you generate any electricity in the darkness? And apparently you could get maybe 10% of the rated output. So that's a 100-watt panel. This one I think is about 2.5 pounds. I did a review about this one too. So in my review, this one, when it's like not overcast, it could get 60, 70 late March. And at the same time, like when it gets more summertime, you get more power output. So that's the question becomes, comment down below. Do you think it just makes better sense like this? However, that 30 watt panel is either $70 and maybe at a discount could be bought for like $40, $45. Do you need just something to charge up a cell phone or a battery bank that you could just throw in the windshield of your car and just charge up your battery bank while you're away doing grocery shopping? That's an idea. Or if you're at the beach charging up something, at the same time you could just take the battery bank to the beach and charge it up on the way there with your car, and it doesn't matter if it's overcast. Comment down below. So it's a little bit hazy today, slight overcast, but we do have sun on above us. We're getting 16 watts from this 30-watt panel. Maybe if I tilt it towards the sun a little bit, I'm getting 19. Okay. So that's more of an expectation of what we can get. Next, let's see if we can get a cell phone charging and going to the bank, how much it is. So it could put the full output to the battery bank. Let's see how much it goes down by the amount, or whether both ports work at the same time. So now I have both the power bank and the cell phone charging at the same time. You see the charge icon? So this went down from 16 to 2. So it sounds like the power went 14, the first 14 watts went to the USB power, and what's left over went to this. So it can do both. I'm not gonna, I guess, connect to maybe a secondary thing. Maybe if I connect a power bank to it too. So what my conclusion with this solar panel is, it's less meant to charge up a battery bank, but it's more meant to give you options. Meaning, if in bright sun, we're getting like 16 watts. Let's see, let's unplug this guy. Does it go up? So it goes back up to 16. Okay, so how this guy works is, first power, it goes from the USB to the phone, and then anything DC could go there. So all 3 ports probably work. Let's just actually do a test. Is there anything left over for the power bank afterwards? So we know that we're getting 16 watts coming in. Let's see what we could do if we connect both a cell phone and a power bank to it too. Can all 3 charge at the same time? So in this part of the test, we are getting our charging icon on there, and you see over here, the battery bank is charging up. And over here, we're not getting any input. We're getting 0 watts. So anything that's from there is okay. So conclusion, you can't charge all 3. It is only a 30-watt solar panel. However, you could charge one up pretty well with this. So overall, would I recommend this unit? I would say probably yes. See, now it's disconnected. Boom. Power's right up. So that's kind of like what I'm picturing with this unit is, you're backpacking and you would put your cell phone to charge and your battery pack to charge. So this way you could always charge your cell phone from it. So I would say this 30-watt solar panel is more of like an emergency charge up your cell phone, have this in your bug out bag, or have it camping, just basically charge up your phone from solar. And then when there's no solar available, you could always charge up from the battery bank. So it is nice that it is doing both, charging on both. So it's probably doing 8 watts and 8 watts. I have no way to tell how much power it's doing. We just know that from the baseline, we were getting 16 watts and it started doing 14 watts to the cell phone. So you could probably do 14 watts, so maybe it's doing 7 and 7 or 10 and 8, who knows? So we only have a 16 watt capacity. And then you may ask, like, how come on the 16 watts, we're only getting 16 watts? That's what I found with all solar panels. See my other reviews, it depends on your latitude. Like, for example, I'm slightly more north in New York. So maybe if you're in Arizona, maybe you would be getting 20, 25 because you're more south, more closer to the equator. So the sun is closer to you. By the way, the earth is biblical and flat. There's no such thing as space. And this is where maybe you guys could put your own comments down. I tried to disprove, or I tried to prove that space existed and I couldn't. And I looked into it. And anyways, long story short, the sun is further away, so we're getting less luminous flux to the solar panel. And the 30 watts is in optimal conditions with like optimal sun at the perfect angle. This is the way that I'm seeing that most people would use it, laying flat. I'm picturing it laying flat on the dash. I'm picturing it on a picnic. I'm picturing it on the beach. I'm picturing it in the woods. You find a little sunny place, let your cell phone charge up, or you just leave your battery bank to charge up. And from that battery bank, you could always charge up your cell phone and you are good to go. So you don't even need like a power station. You could just have that, and this is a much more light thing. This guy could fit into the pocket. And you see? It means it's charging. And this guy is charging too. Okay, friends, thumb up and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this solar panel. Oh, let's see, does the charge turn off? Okay, so if you close it up like this, it already turns off because you're probably not getting enough power. Boom. Right away you're getting power and it's getting charged again. Okay, that's very interesting. So we have a solar powered phone and battery bank. So leave this big guy at home. Like, why do you need it anyway? You're on a camping trip. With this guy probably needs at least 100 or a 200 watt solar panel, ideally. This guy charges at maximum 80 watts. So we tested out with both. It could technically do all three of them. So we just know that it prioritizes the USB ports on this device. So would I recommend this as like a bug out thing? Yes. And possibly if you want something that's completely ultra durable and ultra portable, maybe there's also a CIGS version, CIGS. See over here, this is a crystal. So if I go like this, if I hit it with something, I could break the glass on the inside of this. So this is breakable. If you have CIGS, that's completely indestructible. I have a review of a 100 watt CIGS panel. You could walk over it. You could pretty much do anything with it. I've seen one guy making holes with it, with a self-protection device, and it still worked and gave the full output in his Arizona sun. So, all right, friends, thumb up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.